levels are you all work, what's the range you work with? And the second is, you introduce this as talking about 1 million people in this Bay Area region health. And each of you has told us that you have worked with, over time, thousands. So how do you get people to your door? And is there a challenge with that? Because it seems, you know, they can bang you down your doors, and maybe they are. But if you could address those two things.
I'd actually like to address the second question. I think, you know, one of the reasons that our organizations exist is that there's been a huge failure to be able to provide these services to a number of people through other means. And what that has meant is that you have, you know, relatively small nonprofits providing these kinds of services. I think it's, you know, at least let me speak for EARN, I think it's absurd to think that with millions of people in need of getting savings accounts that you have a small nonprofit providing those services. I mean, really, when you think about it, right? So what our vision is that at some point you get to a level of scale where these kinds of services are provided by large financial institutions and other, you know, private sector actors that are more ubiquitous, larger, and you know, just available, you know, available to serve larger groups of people. So the fact that you have nonprofits really doing their utmost and still only serving thousands of people, I think speaks to the enormity of the market failure.
And I think also for Opportunity Fund, you see a shift in the mentality of the client. So if you put yourself in the shoes of someone who's immigrated to the country 20 years ago, didn't speak the language, you scrubbed toilets, you probably went to check cashers. Maybe you've run into cash call or payday lenders. Maybe you actually have gone to a bank before, but either the teller didn't speak your language, or they kind of looked at you in a certain way, which told you you weren't really welcome there. I think that there's a lot of that kind of emotional and psychological impact that are on our clients. So it's not necessarily natural for them to bang on our door, right? Because they mistrust financial institutions perhaps, or they trust cash only. This whole idea of opening up their lives and talking about their personal financial situation to begin with is maybe culturally very odd. So we definitely have to do marketing, we definitely have to do outreach, we definitely have to educate our clients on who we are and what we do. And I think we kind of get both ends of the spectrum. We sometimes get people that think Opportunity Fund is purely a social service and we give grants. And kind of then there's the education piece that, no, these are loans you repay. This whole idea is you build a business and your business has cash flow to repay. I think there's the other side of things too, that you have very cash-based families and individuals coming to us that want to do it all on their own. And it's almost like sometimes we need to convince them, hey, you could actually build your business twice as fast if you took a $5,000 loan to get that next lawnmower. So there's definitely that portion of marketing and outreach that we need to meet clients halfway. And just to answer your first question, so we look at 80% of the area median income by county and by individual and household. So as an example, for Santa Clara County, a one-person household has to be at $59,400 or below to qualify as low moderate income for Opportunity Fund's small business program.
And ours is 60% of the median income based on HUD's guidelines. So it's about $39,000 for a single woman, about $55,000 for a family of 4. But the average household income is $14,000, so it's far lower than that threshold. And we never have a problem recruiting clients unless maybe we're brand new in a neighborhood, because the word of mouth is so drives so many people to us. We've been around for 20 years, and we have waiting lists, so we could ramp up. If any of you want to sponsor a class, come see me, because there are women waiting, and they can start good businesses. And in 5 years, 70% will still be in business with consistent sales. So it far outpaces the national average.
I think the grand takeaway, when you see numbers in the thousands and need in the millions, is probably not that we're not doing a good job marketing and getting people in, because I think we all have lots of demand for our services, but it speaks more, I think, more broadly to kind of systemic problems.